Dave here. How are you? I trust everyone's well, and I see Carl Coucher has also joined us. Long time without you, Carl. It's fantastic to have you back as a viewer on the show. It's fantastic. And also what I've done is I've done this. We've got Carl Cam. So during the day, we will be using that. Good morning, Ebony, and good morning everyone else that's dropped in. It is 11:01 on the 14th of June, or could I say June 6 or June 5, I guess, for some people. Just to make everyone happy, I know people say the date differently all over the place. All right, a big show today, big show. Anyway, here we go. Continuing the mobile machine cabinet, we're going to do edge tape and pocket holes. And if we get time, I may also do some, put some of the drawer slides in as well. I've got full extension, soft closes that I'm going to be putting in. And I'm thinking I'm going to do 3 drawers in this particular one. TSO out of stock are parallel guides, but coming soon. People have been using my links, and thank you so much. They're in the description box at the bottom. And, you know, it's just a situation where with this bug, things haven't been able to be manufactured as quickly as they can, but I'm told 2 weeks and they should be back in stock, which would be great. Emerald says, hi, Grandad. G'day, Emmy, how are you? Now, also, Emerald, my granddaughter, who is touring Australia at the moment, is about to start following in her granddad's footsteps, and she's going to do a live or a blog from all of the places she goes to from the eyes of a 7 or 8 year old girl. So this will be fantastic. It's probably not something for all of you guys to follow, but if you've got grandchildren, please let them know, and I will do a link further down the track. And she's just been to Fraser Island with her mum and her dad and her brother, and they're having a great time. Now things are opening up, the restrictions are all lifting in Australia, and we're also going to have a look this week at Greg Wyatt's Moxon Vice and some other things. An interesting little challenge. You may know that last week, I'll do it right now, right at the beginning. You may be aware that last week people were doing this, posting, doing these little, I forget what they call them, but they put a sticker in, it cost you $1 or $2 to do it, and people got a bit silly, and one person jumped in, Matt, said, I'm going to shout you a night out for dinner, Dave, and he put in $40. And so Vicky and I were over the moon about that, and we were so happy. I did say that we were going to do a name tag for Matt and show him dinner. There you go. So that's what we did. Thank you very much for that, Matt. And it gave us an idea. Whilst things are starting to slowly get moving again, Vicky and I were thinking it'd be nice to go out to dinner to some of the local restaurants and try and help them kick on again. Now, here's the thing. If you want your name tag at the table that we have dinner at, this might be a weekly thing. Have a think about this. We might do a little thing where whoever wants that bad and puts a certain amount of dollars in the side, in this little thing down the side, however you do it, I'm not sure. If you happen to be the highest amount, and you can do a couple if you're watching and you think, oh, someone's just beat me there, a little bit of an auction, well then, we'll add it all up at the end of the show and we'll write a name tag, stick it on the table, get the waiter, take a photo of Vicky and me having dinner, and you're going to be our guest in name tag only. What do you think? It's a bit of fun, and it's to help local establishments kick on again. So your call. I'm not telling you to do it, not with twisting your arm up behind your back. It's a bit of fun if you wanted to do that. No, that was the local dining room. It's at my place. We had takeaway because we were still waiting just to make sure. So we thought we'd give a takeaway a go first. And so this time we'll probably go to the local Chinese and have a sit down. And what I'll do is I'll run the camera around the room as well to show you how many people may or may not be there. So these businesses really do need a hand. So I thought it might be a fun way to do it. Anyway, let's get into it. The next thing. So Matt, thank you so much for that. I had combination chow mein and Vicky had pad thai beef. There you go. I am shameless. I'm shameless. Oh dear. Having a cup out of this lovely cup, or a cup of tea. Here we go. Now, I did the drawings, get into the serious part of the show. This is the drawing of the cabinet that we're going to make. Now, we've cut it all out, and I'm going to edge tape it next. Now, during the week, on Wednesday, I did a little bit of this, but I thought I'd do it again. So if you saw it on Wednesday, this is a revision, plus a little bit. And if you haven't seen how to do edge taping, this is just iron-on edge tape. I'll show you a really quick way, and we'll use the other camera. I'm going to plug the iron in first. There we go. And see how it goes. Greg, we bought coffee every morning at our favourite cafe for the last 3 months. Also, recent couple of breakfasts. Yes, get out there, support these businesses that have been in shutdown. You know, if you're allowed to do this, and still that, I think they're still maintaining a social distancing, do it. Get the economy going again. Every country needs it. All right, I've got the iron on. I'm going to switch over to the side camera here and the one up the top. Let me have a look. Where are we? Second camera. It's not working. I've got to find it. I'll get it eventually. Got it? There you go. Now, I've got the main camera in front of me here. Now, the other week you may have noticed I was looking a little bit soft in the image. Not soft in the head, soft in the image. The reason being, if I go over to the side, these webcams aren't really designed for peripheral vision being sharp. They're designed for focusing right on someone's face in the middle of the image. So I've been mucking around with that. That's why you'll see I've got a whole lot of stuff behind me here. Now the iron should be just about fully charged. You'll see me up in the corner up there as well. So I'm using a couple of these dogs. I mentioned during the week, the reason I like these from TSO is they are slightly less diameter than the standard ones. And because we're in winter in Australia, these go in beautifully. See, it's still slightly tight fit. Remember that timber or manufactured board has a fibre and it will expand and contract. The holes will get smaller, they'll get bigger. So I've got these because they work really, really well. All right, Ebony, I said that's the same as our cup. Of course it is. Looks soft because the local beautician has David, you're late, sorry. That's all right. Now, I'm going to, let me have a look at this. See if I can put it up here. You may or may not be able to read that. I'll come over to this camera here, it's going to be better. So on the side, you'll see I've got 1L, 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 which means one long edge. I'm going to put the tape on one long edge, not any others. So from the front of the cabinet, it's going to have the edge tape all the way around. Now let's start with this one. And I think this is the long edge. I'll just sit that there for the moment. Grab a couple of clamps. Right, into land care are you, David? Good. What kind of projects have you been working on? Lock that in. Beautiful. Now, one long edge. So this is 555 by 565. It shows me down here because I always write it on a piece of tape that I can just peel off when it's finished. This is easier than writing on the actual cabinet with pencil. Where's my tape? Nice colour tape, what do you reckon? So I need one long, that is 565. That's 555. So this edge needs tape on it. And let me see if I've got any tape here. I'll grab a bit out of the box. Notice the lights down the back as well. The main ones aren't turned on down there. I've disconnected them. I've put other ones up in between the rafters. Up in between. Talk to this camera, it's going to be easier. And so it's softer to look at and doesn't create massive holes in my hairline. There's enough holes there already. So what we did during the week, as I said, put the tape on. All I've done is torn it. Now make sure that the tape is sitting in the middle of the board. So I put my fingers either side just to feel where it's at, and I run my fingers along there so that when I start ironing it, put the iron on and push, it's not going to be running off the side at all. I'll grab the iron, it should be warm enough by now. Don't actually touch it, just feeling the heat. All right, here we go. I cleaned the iron during the week. Of course, I noticed the bottom of it was starting to look a bit dodgy. A bit of an angle one way and a bit of an angle the other way, and then at the end, a little bit down that way and a little bit here. Block of wood to just do that final press. And again, some people use a cork block, whatever you want to use. Edge trimmer or end trimmer, I take the ends off first. That one and that one, and then the side trimmer. These little things are fantastic. A couple of blades in there, spring loaded. You put it on, and remember, as I said, ready to watch? That's it. And now that's looking pretty good, but what I do at the end, as I did on Wednesday, is I use this little guy. This is a little plane from Wood River. It's a chamfer plane. And it does a beautiful job. It's double, it's got a blade at either end. So I just push it both ways. Take her out, and it's done. Now remember, I did all of the cutting on this with the TSC 55 track saw using the parallel guides and my system of doing a scribe cut first. If you're curious about how I do that, go back, have a look at the videos previously done on the show in the second channel. So that's one with one long. I'll do a quick read. It's 1mm tape, Stephen. Red pen on my drawings for edge boards. Yep. Wayne, g'day Ebony, we can't wait to get away again in our motorhome. Yep. Paul Angus, I did that on the recent order from a supplier. Sadly, they missed some edging. Dave, why not get all of us at table? Well, you could do. But that's not going to inspire. See, I'm thinking it's like a competition. The person who's got the most gets the biggest, gets the name tag. So here we go. See these little shavings that came out of the Wood River? What do you think of that? Now this will run for a few days, of course. But let me see, where are we? We've got to measure this again. But the live chat things happen on the show. There we go. What heat setting is on the iron? Let me just think for a second. 565. I've got to make sure. Yeah, 565. That's 555. That would have been a tragedy. This is why I have to think while I can't do too much talking away from what I'm thinking about. Lock that, lock that. So what was the heat setting? It's flat out. This is an old iron, as I was saying before. It's not very, you can see the little red light comes on. When the red light comes on, that's the way. And don't, as Peter said, don't slow down. All of our names at the table, that would be a big meal. Yeah. I don't need that. Here we go. Second run. Now see how I'm not dawdling, and I said before, you can put brown paper on it to keep it super clean prior to running the iron over it. There we go. Block of wood. Put what, Wayne? A bit of tape under the edge for edging. Not sure what you mean by that. That end, this end. and through here. And this little guy. Done. Okay, so that's two to go. How are we going for time? 15:15. Now this is 555 by 568. This is the top. I'll do a quick measure on that. We need long side, so it's 568. We need to put the tape on, which is that way. So it's great to have little reminders. It really is. Now, I don't know if I've got enough tape left on that run there. I do, just. I've got another piece of tape there. Peter, how are you? To give you a visual on which edge to band. Oh yeah, that'd work. And along the edge, along the other edge. Let's just make sure everything is being glued down tightly. Other end. It's pretty simple. It really is. Once you get started on these kind of things, you look at it, once you've done it, you go, what was I worried about? Yeah, that's so easy. I'll bring the camera in closer so you can, and up a little bit. There we go. So you can watch it come off the cut. Here we go. You ready? Isn't it fun? All right, now the little wood river plane, as I was saying, you can watch that as well. Back. See? Blade at both ends. On the other side. Release, put that one down. And the last one. And a measure, 565. No, it's a straight chamfer. Alrighty. I think I've got the right side. That's another thing. If you use different tape measures during a job, you can run into the problem with the tape being a slightly different lengths. You know, you'd think a tape measure is a tape measure, but they're not always. Dave, I cut a fair amount of melamine this week using your scribe cut tip. Worked perfectly. One of the best tips I've ever gotten from your show. Well, thank you. Julianne, where would I get those planes from, Dave? Look, I'll see if I can find a link for these on Amazon somewhere or wherever. There's companies in Australia sell these as well. Whoever sells Wood River would stock these, but you know, see how we go. Right, now I need to open up. This is the tape if you're interested. Again, I just got it from Bunnings. It's not cheap. I think it was around $50 for a roll. And where are we at the end here? Just peel the masking tape off the end. Gotcha. Yeah, so I hope everyone's been well and you're staying safe in this crazy time we're in. I'm just going to snap that off, get rid of it. And of course that's going to stick to me. One of the other things I like to do, that's broken, bring it up to, I'm just going to take it to there. One of the other things I like to do is, now I've forgotten what the other thing I like to do is. I mustn't like it very much, hey? You check your tapes against your table saw scale. Well, even then they might be wrong, Stephen. You never can tell. You'd think the table saw scale to be accurate. Saw stop's scale is dead accurate. I've checked those ones. There's a company that makes tapes, and there's class 1 and class 2 tape measures. Did you know there's all this weird stuff happens in the background? Beyond Tools, $50. Excellent. $30.60 for 50. Okay, I got it wrong. I'm glad you guys are checking on me. And the side. Whoop, yep, make sure I'm in the right spot. Beautiful. And then this one again. Done. All right, so that's all of our edge taping done. Next thing we're going to do is pocket holing. So I'll bring this camera back a little to around there and go back to the main one. Cool. Michael, Jude, good morning. And your saw stop is spot on. Yep. Excellent. You got the industrial one there, Stephen. All righty. I don't need these on the front anymore. I can take those off, make myself a bit of space. Next thing we're going to do is pocket holing for pocket hole screws. So for people that aren't aware of what pocket hole screws do, they've got a flat base. They're not a countersink screw head. They're flat like a washer base. And when you tighten them up, they go in at an angle. They've got a very, very sharp point on them. You drill a hole with a special drill, which is this one, that's got a step on it. Okay, so this is what's called a step drill. So at the base of the first step, it's dead flat, and it goes down to a narrower diameter, which is around just over 1/8 of an inch, 3 to 4 millimeters wide. So I'm guessing a lot of people in the background are now saying, we can help you out with all of this stuff. Undo the iron before, oh my goodness, the chips session happens. Take it out of the way. All right, now to set the jig up, I've got a K4, this little guy here, and we might go to Carl Cam as well for this one. There we go. Can we all see that? Put your hands up. Yes, good. Are you putting your hands up in the lounge room at the moment? Yeah, Dave, I'm waving too. Good. All right, now, I've got a couple of small pieces here that I got that we're going to test with. Now, the jig is designed to hold a piece of material up against this drill guide. I'll open it up even a little bit more. This is a guide block. So this drill is going to go down inside this block and come out at an angle. See that? It's just coming out past the tip. You can see it against the white as it goes in. So it's going to drill a hole at around 15 degrees into the timber. So it's going to drill a hole this way. So looking from the side, like that, into the one piece. Now you also see that on this, you may not see it here, but I put pH, pH, pH on the 1L. So we're going to pocket hole not on the sides, and notice I didn't put it there. I did, as a matter of fact. We better get rid of that because that's a danger. Forget it on the gables or the sides. We're only going to do it on the top and the base. Now, why are we only doing it there? Let me finish. Let me finish talking about this first. I'm going to drop this into the 5/8 position. Now you'll see here on my screw selector, this is the kind of join we're going to be doing. And I've got 5/8 and 5/8, which is the same as 16 millimeters. And it's telling me down here, 5/8 jig setting, 1-inch screw. This is very, very handy. There's also little apps you can get, but this is handy if you just got into the workshop, you can look at it straight away. So I'm going to set the jig at 5/8. So on the side here, you'll see it says 5/8. I don't know if you can see it there. Slide it down until it touches the 5/8 point, and there's a screw at the back that I'm going to go there. I'm going to switch it around so you can see it on that camera. Nice and close. I don't know if you can see that or not. All right, so we've set the jig. The next thing to do is to set the stop collar. See this guy here? There is a Allen key that I use. There's all sorts of different types of pocket hole jigs, but this is the one that I've got. So this stop collar is designed to stop the drill as it's in the jig going too far. So if I tip it like that, you might see that there's the drill coming out of the jig, which will be going into the piece of timber. Down here are all the markings. So it's told me to set the jig at 5/8. So just there is 5/8. So I'm going to, this is on the shoulder of the drill, on the step section. I'm going to pull it back just a little and lock it with the Allen key. Done. And pop it back in there because that's where it lives. So now I have the drill set, the collar set to the right depth. So when it goes in, it's not going to go all the way through. It's going to stop just shy of the base, as that's my guide. From the side, that's as far as it can go. This part here holds the piece of timber, or in this particular situation, melamine, against the guide. So that's not going to be strong enough, so I can open it up a little bit more, and that's better, that's good. Now, on the back here is also a lock nut, so we can pull that backwards, and you can tighten that up. If you're doing a big run of stuff, you lock that like that, and then it's not going to slightly move around while you're doing stuff. Now I'm going to do a test, and I'm going to actually put a pocket hole screw in. So I'll lock that. I'm going to put the dust port on the back as well. When I find it, yep, there it is. And for you people that have got a Festool dust extractor, this little guy here is just a soft rubber fitting from grey water section in Bunnings, in the plumbing supply area. Pardon me. This is the dust collector. I slide that into there, like so. And then I put it in the back. It just clips in. All right. So, next thing to do is get a drill and the dust extractor here. Going to plug it in like so. And I can turn the dust extractor on. Here it's sucking down through there. Get a drill. Okay, and I'm just going to drill straight down into there. Done. There's my pocket hole. You notice it hasn't come through the end. And then I'm going to use that to screw to that. And that's going to be my join. I'll do two, just so it's not a trick. So I've got two there. Move this back over here. And it's important to clamp these things together. All right. That way, and I think I'll go that way and that way on this particular one. Pull it back a little further. It's not behaving itself, is it? Again, this is just a quick demo. Doing it properly, I'll set it up properly. back you come from there. Actually, what I might do is do it sideways. If I set it up this way, it's going to open everything up for me. You guys aren't going to be able to see it too much. This is looking very amateur hour, isn't it? There we go. Tighten it up just a little. And I'm going to show you a trick when I put the cabinet together, how to make it work really well. There we go. So there's our piece. It's nice and flat there. It's not going anywhere. The tighter you make this, the more luck you're going to have with this not slipping at all. All right, so we need a pocket hole. We're going to use a Robertson drive. And for those of you who notice, I've got a Robertson drive in my Centratec chuck. What do you think of that? I filed it and put a little notch in there. And now it's locking in. Rather than having to use an adapter like this thing. Okay? All right. I'm screwing directly through the melamine, no pocket holes in my current project. Dave, I just got it from Bunnings. The merits of pocket hole systems, so watching with interest. Okay. Look, exactly right, Carl. There's other companies make pocket hole screws. Like Craig don't have the rights for them. But what we're going to do is try to... Pocket holes are really quick and easy. You will not see any screw heads from the outside of this construction all the way through. Everything is going to be totally hidden. You won't. This is one of the big things about pocket hole screws. I used to put all my cabinets together using a 2.5mm drill right through the outside here into there, and then a 2-inch 8-gauge screw straight in, and that was it. But the thing is, that's fine for when you're putting cabinets end to end to end to end and you don't see anything. But these are great if you don't want to see anything even on the end panel. Right? These are a roll-around cabinet. I'm not going to spend money on another dressing up panel to hide the screw heads. So it did say 1 inch, so I'll have a look, see if we've got the 1-inch washer heads. Now be aware also, these are coarse, 1-inch coarse. They also sell a pan head, which is a smaller diameter. They're for the micro set. This is the standard. I don't use the micros, but that's not to say that they're no good. I just don't use them. All right, it's a Robertson drive, Robertson number 2. And here we go. You ready? That one in there. 1. And the other screw. It's just quick. It's so quick. Done. Undo. There's no slipping. It's locked together. It's a nice join. Now you're going to say to me, Dave, but I can see the screws. See the massive holes there. You can. So these are going to be, this is going to be the side of my cabinet here. This is going to be the side. This is going to be the top. I'm going to put a top like I've put on my roll-around cabinet here. On top of this, the base is going to have a piece of 3 by 2 inch or 4 by 2 inch, whatever, all the way around underneath. It's going to cover those. You're not going to see them. The drawers, when we get to the drawers next week, same kind of thing. You won't see it. On the pocket hole, I'm putting finishing cover panels over the outside of your build. Okay, so that's this is the outside, Paul. No, you don't see any screws. All right, cup of tea. Okay. Now, we're going to do the pop. Whoop, thought it had gone. Risky. I'm going to go to the main camera again. So, I love pocket holes. They're so quick. In another project I'm going to do soon, actually, yeah, very soon I'm going to do another project. I'll be using dominoes for the drawers. So there's so many different ways of doing a join with this stuff. Okay. there's a lot of people don't like pocket holes, and I understand that. Now, on this particular one, I need to put pocket holes not on the side that's got the tape. That's the front. Now, this is also the bottom. So the bottom and the top are the only ones that are going to get pocket holes. So it's going to be sitting flat. As I say, this is the base, and the pocket holes will be done underneath. And on the top, the pocket holes will be done on the top section. Now, when the screws go in, it's going back into the meat of the side, not coming up to right near the edge of the side. It's worthwhile thinking through the process. So it might sound really basic when I start doing this stuff, but there's reasons why I do it. And don't worry, I've tripped myself up and made a mess. You like the Robertson screws from Screw-Its as well. Cool. All right, so now I need the jig back. And there's other ways of doing this without using a jig if you want. And I think I might clamp this jig down by one of these guys, because I can. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Come on, Dave. They're over here. Ah, like this. So I'm going to slide my clamp on. I'm going to tip this up to there. Lock it on. I'll do one from the other side as well. This way I don't have to screw anything down. There we go. It's held. I ain't going anywhere. I knew you'd say that, Stephen. You've always got to have the last word, haven't you, buddy? All right. Where are we? Where are we? Side panel. So we want the bottom and the top only. Cool. I'm going to drop it in. I'll put a little support block of some sort out here. I think I made this the same height. It's very close to it. I'll put that out there and then close this one, and you can see that. And then I'm going to switch the cameras around the other side. There. Right, so you can see I've got the jig here. Get the drill, which is over here. Turn this on. Whoop, not that one, silly, this one. Now they say every 200 millimeters, so I'm going to go to that one. I used that just to help support the end when it didn't have much support at all. Now the K5, which is another of their jigs, has everything is controlled from this side. See, I'm reaching around the back of the unit there to close this. It's just because it's mine, so that's what I use. That's the reason they made the other one. It has more support, and also you clamp from the same side as you're working. This one here. Okay, so I've got 4 screws, and I'm going to do this. I'll pick the speed up a little bit. I won't do too much chatting. I'm going to leave this turned on. You may want to turn your sound down a little bit, I'm just going to leave the sound on. On one again. Ah. Okay, so that's one, the base totally finished. So this will be all on the bottom of the cabinet. You won't see it, you'll see this. Okay, so that's that one. I want to get this other one done. I'll do the top as well. So use a vac, the drilling guides will last longer. Horses for courses, you wouldn't use them in a chair build, for instance. I've seen, Stephanie, how are you? I've seen plenty of chairs built. I've got chairs built myself. Not that I built, but I've got chairs that I bought that do have pocket hole construction. So, you know, it's one of those things. I'm going to start from this end so I don't trip myself up. Turn this on. I could have done these with my Craig Foreman, but I'm trying to do this with machines and tools that are accessible to everyone. You know, pretty much everyone's budget can handle it. The Foreman's pricey. But the electric one's not too bad. These screws here are going to be for the back. I'm going to screw the back on from the inside. Idiot, did it again. See? Talking. Finished. Done. Okay, so it's the top and the bottom. None at the front where the edge strip's going to be, or where the edge strip is. I'll take this off here. We can start. Well, actually, what I might do now is we'll have a look at Greg's Mox and Vice, because I know he's probably there waiting. If you bring Vegemite, you don't need a note. Okay, now whilst we're going along, let me have a quick look here. Whilst we're going along, don't forget this one. Don't forget that one. All right. What is Vegemite, Stephanie? Dearie me. So for people that have only just come in, what I said to Matt last week, because he did a fantastic donation in the chat, I said to him, I'll do a name tag, and when Vicky and I go out for a meal on him, that's fantastic, we'll put a name tag up as well. So that's what's there. So we've thought about it, and we thought, right, we'll help the local economy get stimulated again. Vicky and I might go out to dinner and put a name tag of someone who, if they want to do a sticker or whatever it is down the side, and we'll have a look at it at the end of the show and make a decision as to whose name will be at the dinner. And we're thinking about possibly going to the local Chinese. We're not talking about a lot. We're just talking a little bit. All right. Next thing. Greg, let's have a look. I'll get Greg's list here. Greg says, hi Dave, something for your Sunday show. Here are some details of the Moxon Vice I made recently. There it is. So, it is made from reclaimed dressed Tassie oak. I picked up from somewhere ages ago. The right angle brackets are leftovers from the fence on my mitosaur station. It attaches to the bench. Let me see if I've got that picture. Yep. It attaches to the bench via a couple of 5/16 threaded inserts in the workbench top. Now let me see if I've got a photo of those. There you go. That's a 5/16 threaded insert in the top of his workbench or assembly bench or whatever it is. And the handles are from John Lafferty, from Yellow Box Shed. The rod is 5/8 threaded rod from Bunnings. So let's have a look at that one again. See the threaded rod coming through? The 5/8 inch nuts are recessed in the small bits of MDF glued over. Okay, so he's put nuts to capture. He's put captured nuts in the back of the vise, and the thread rod comes through there, and he's got a couple of bits of MDF over the top to hide them. The star knob holes are counterbored a little, as I only had 1-inch threads. So he's just counterbored it so that the thread could actually make a grip. Cool. Now, you'll see the star knob on the left there. As it's my only woodworking vise, I needed a way to hold the faces parallel while smaller pieces of timber are in the vise. I made a series of spaces, and this is the box he keeps the spaces in, but let's have a look. So these are the spaces that he uses. I made a series of spaces which are held in the bottom of the jaws on 2 pins. There are 3 aluminium ones, 1 millimetre thick, and a series of timber ones made from scrap hardwood, mostly blackwood. So you see he's written the sizes on them. They are 4, 8, 16, 32 and 64 millimetres thick. Thus I can make any thickness from 1 to 127 millimetres. One picture shows the 1 mil plus 1 mil plus 1 mil plus 16 mil. I've got to stop talking in inches. Then a piece of 19 by 42 held snugly. I don't know if I've got that picture, Greg. I may not. That's all right. I don't know if my spacer idea is original, but I have seen it but I've never seen it in my research. Of course, this is not really what a Moxon is for, but it makes up multi-purpose. That is brilliant. I love it. What do you reckon? First pick I showed, that one. Okay, there it is. There it is. Geez, I'm glad you're there to keep me in line. So yeah, one picture shows the 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 16 equals 19 mil, then a piece of 19 by 42 held snugly. Greg, have you ever thought about popping in some leather on the jaws at all? Just a thought. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people use that system. All right, where are we up to? What's next? We're going to actually screw this cabinet together. Now, the best way for me to do it is on the bench here. So I'll show you how that happens. I can use a piece of offcut like this and clamp it down so it's not going to go anywhere. Oh, before I screw it together, I better put the slides on. Yeah, we'll put the draw slides on next. Getting ahead of myself. But all of these parts needed to be done first. I'll move the router out of the way. I'm going to show you also, give me a second, I'll grab it now. There's a couple of ways of doing this. And one of the other ways of doing it is instead of just doing a neat pocket hole straight to face, you can do a rebate down the sides as well. This is 2 millimeters deep, and that will also give me a particle board to particle board glue point. So it works fine that way. And you might have to sneak the stop collar on the drill back ever so slightly towards the cutting end of the drill, so it pulls the drill back up a little bit, because you're taking 2 millimeters out of the material you're going to be screwing into. That's pretty important. This is the lathe stand that I'm making. It's going to be a very similar size to this unit here. These are great. I love this. Look at that. Soft close, walk away, close, done. I'm going to use the same kind of top as well, and that should be really handy. Okay, let's see. This one, which way is which? I'm going to put in here on the bench. We're going to have the face, which is the face edge, I'm going to have pointing out that direction. I'm going to put a couple of dogs in the face. You might want to watch this part. This could be interesting for you. Let's go to camera number 3. Okay, so I'll work on this side so you can see what's happening. I'm going to put a dog there and a dog there. And I'm going to get a couple more. Going to put a dog there. And I'm looking for a dog that hasn't got a mark on it, and a dog there. Now these, because when I make the bench, all of these holes have been cut at the same point with the CNC. So it's locked in. This is perfectly square. Matt's winning the race to get his name on a name tag again. Any advance on $10? All right, so next thing I'm going to do is put a clamp here and a clamp on the other side. Drop this in with the strip. I'll turn it around this way because it might work better for you. So this is the edge that is my face, and I can just slide that down like so. I'm going to tighten the clamp up a little bit. That's got him. And this one, tighten him up a little. Okay. And this one that I put across the top here will be the top. And notice I'm going to use the same edge. Let me bring it back to there. Thinking about this a bit more, David. Okay. And I'm going to lock that in position. On this one, I'm going to use these clamps. That's getting there. I'm going to bring this one up a little. Cool. Slide her up until the top's flush. Gotcha. On the other side, bring this one across just a touch. Now, it might seem pretty convoluted to do that, but it's holding it perfectly for me. I haven't got to worry about it at all. All the corners are nice. I could do it with the Bessies. You know, if I was to do it that way, I could slide that across to there, put that on there. And the same here. There's so many ways you can do it. Yes. If that moves, I'll be super surprised. Okay, 1 inch course, we'll throw a few of these in. Come on. In you up. 1. 2. Back here, why not? Because I can. Done. It always takes longer whilst I'm showing people. Anyway, 4 screws, 6 clamps. Yeah, I know. I'll do it a quicker way. I just wanted to show you there's so many different ways you can do it. I can take those off, undo these. Okay, there's nothing holding that together now, apart from the actual screws in the joint. See that? Turn that out a bit, that way. There you go. So the inside looks magic. The joint's holding together really well. I'll do the other one. I'll do it quicker the next time. You're probably all saying, thank heavens. Which one where? Do that one on the side. I'll pop that there. So I've got the height straight away. Gotcha. It'll be a bit quicker this time. That one there. That one. That one. Cool. Oh, thank you, Stephen. Done. Done. That was a bit quicker, wasn't it? Once I've got these pulled together, then I'll lock the 2 sections together as well. Give me a second, what am I doing here? Thinking. That's good. That's the bottom, no one sees that. That's all good. I had a moment. I had a moment there for a second. I thought, oh, I think I've stuffed it, which I often do, don't worry. All right. Release those 2. And now I'm going to put the rest together down on the ground. So we've got, this is the top, that's that. That's got to be fine. That's got to be right there. Can't be any other way, David. Like so. All right. I'm going to switch that camera down a little bit. About there. All right. This time I'm going to put these on this direction. Like so. Like that. And like that. Just make sure the tops are right. They're good. Okay, and the other side, I'll show you why I'm doing that. Tighten it just a little bit and then tap it into position. This one. I was going to put the slides on, wasn't I? I'm still going to. The joys of doing this live. The joys of live. Undo that. Undo that. Why didn't anyone remind me? Why did no one remind me? Okay. Here we go. We're going to do the slides. Tip that up. There we go. All right. The slides, the slides, the slides. How we do a straw slide. All right. First thing we do is open it up. So we just pull it open, rotate it over, and you'll see up here, there's a little black tongue. I push down on that, and that releases. I can take that part out. This goes on the drawer, this goes on the carcass. Also, an interesting thing. See these things here? They're punched out like that so that if you've made your drawer a little bit too narrow, a little bit too thin, you can always push these out a little bit to make this come proud of the side of the cabinet. All right. Here I'm just going to come up. What I've done is I've drawn 50 millimeters from the base to the center line, and then 200 and another 200. So basically, it's enough to clear this. I'm working on the center line of the holes. So I'm going to put that there and do a mark for a hole there. And that's center there. And just move this along this slide. And I'll go to Carl-Cam, you might be able to see it easier. There you go. So you can see if I move this part backwards and forwards, it exposes the holes that are underneath. I still need to be on the point. There we go, that one there and that one there. I'm just going to slide that back. That's all good. That's that hole there. This one. Now to help me keep it straight, I can throw a square on it, a speed square. This is TSO square. You don't need to get something like this, but it's nice. That holds it straight for me while I'm marking all the hole positions. And I'll pull that back. 1, 2, where is it? There it is there. 3, and this one right at the front. And the last one. And if I hadn't put the cabinet on, the side on first, this would have been dead easy to produce the square. But I got ahead of myself because it was live and I wasn't thinking too straight. But this will be fine. And I've moved it, haven't I? No, only just that one. Unlike a lot of people, I use 5mm, a 5mm drill for these Euro screws. A lot of people use 4. I like 5. It's just me. Take this out of the pocket hole. Bianca, how are you? Got all the family here. Now, so I don't go crazy, I'm going to put a tape on there. There's a few things I could do, but if I use a bit of tape, if I can find it, there it is. Basically, I'm making a little flag. I want to go down possibly around, I don't want to go 16 because it's a brad point drill. So I think I'll come down using the visual of my eyes that much. So that's going to allow the screw to go all the way in. And remember, you've got the thickness of the guide as well. So when I turn it on, that's what's going to happen. I'll drill some holes. One, two, three, and I'm going to go to this one. This is slightly back from the edge. 4. Cool. Won't be long. Go to that one back there. Hopefully I'll fit in here. I will. That was lucky. And the last one. I could have gone around with the center punch. Okay, they're all done. I'm not going to do the other side, I'm just going to do this lot. And all that off. And we'll get the one that I've pulled apart. Now the other thing is with these guys, the front hole is, these holes here aren't big enough. So I like to use a 6mm drill and open that one up. The rest of them are fine. Okay, so get a 6. It's in my drill press at the moment, so I'm going to use a 5.5. This one. Turn the speed down. Cool. And then this one here. Without going through your fingers is good. That's one. Let's drive that one in right now. And I think I've got that attachment in. Yep. I'm going to increase the clutch tension on this possibly up to 8. See how we go with that. And put this one in. Nope. Not with that one. We won't. We'll have to use this one. This one we'll set to 8 as well. This is just a Phillips or a posi drive. Gotcha. And that one that's hiding under there. So that's that. And then if we put this back in, you can see the action. So down here, I don't know if you can just see that. When I push this in, there's a little thing in here that's going to bump that little stop and release it, and it's going to start pulling this part in. So if you watch back here, that's it. That's all there is to it. Lovely. All right. I'm going to throw the other... Oh, we've gone 10 past. Too late. Too late. Look, that's going to do us for today. Switch the cameras around again. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thumbs up for Grandad. Good on you, Zoe. And there's Zoe's sign. There we go. But that's basic. You can see from the outside. This is where the drawers are going to be. So that's the side of the unit. If I tip her up, you can see from the outside, no screws. Right across the bottom there, you can't see anything from the outside. I'm going to possibly finish building this afternoon, like put the rest of it together, and then it'll be ready for us working on drawers next week. So there you go. Thank you everyone for watching and looking for the mouse again. I'll do a quick read down the side. Millions of years back, and then we had a verge of Marmite dispute. Thanks for it. Yep, that's my pleasure, Michael. I'm making sure that I'm reading Michael, not Michelle. See, I got in trouble because Steph put her name up and I said Stephen and it should have been Stephanie, so go figure. It's the best in the workshop. Yes, of course it is. Carl, Bianca, click on the little thumb below. Okay, Carl's telling you that. Matthew, see you next week. Brian, Lukens, thanks Dave. Matt, thanks Dave. Thank you everyone who's jumped in and done the dinner support. We'll see where we go this week. That's fantastic. Thank you. Mark, have a nice day. Ian Easton, thanks Dave. Thanks again from everyone. Michael, all good. Thanks for watching. Be nice to each other. And here's this one. And also we're going to come back to here. And I'm sure I've got this one here. Look after yourselves, be nice to each other, and I shall see you next week and possibly even during the week.